Good morning. This is Hope Reactor. Now, let's begin today's news.
Most people think success has a deadline. You should find your path in your 20s, build your career in your 30s, and by your 40s, you should already know where your life is going. But one man completely ignored that timeline. He was 48 years old when he created a product that would eventually be eaten around the world. His name was Momofuku Ando, and the product was Chicken Ramen. Today, instant noodles are everywhere. Supermarkets, convenience stores, offices, college dorms, even airplanes and space missions. All you need is hot water. But before 1958, this kind of food did not exist in the form we know today. Ando did not invent it inside a giant laboratory. He did not have a huge research team. He began in a small wooden shed behind his home. And he was already 48. After World War II, Japan faced severe food shortages. Millions of people were struggling to find enough to eat. During this period, Ando saw people standing in long lines for bowls of ramen. That image stayed with him. He began thinking about a simple question. Could there be a food that was affordable, easy to prepare, and could be stored for a long time? Something ordinary families could keep at home. Something that only needed hot water. The idea sounded simple. Making it work was not. Ando had already experienced serious setbacks in business. By the time he began developing instant noodles, he was not a young entrepreneur. Starting with a clean record, he was rebuilding. Instead of giving up, he built a small research shed behind his house and began experimenting. Day after day, he worked with noodles. He changed the ingredients. He changed the thickness. He changed how they were seasoned. He tested different ways to dry them. One problem kept returning. The noodles had to last for a long time without spoiling, but they also had to become soft again quickly when hot water was added. Dry them too much, and they would not return to the right texture. Preserve them poorly, and they would not last. For about a year, Ando kept testing. Failure after failure. Then came the breakthrough. He discovered that frying the noodles in hot oil could rapidly remove their moisture. When the water inside the noodles disappeared, tiny spaces were left behind. Later, when hot water was poured onto the noodles, water could enter those spaces and soften them again. This process became known as the flash frying method. And in 1958, Chicken Ramen was born. Ando was 48 years old. Today, instant noodles seem almost too ordinary to notice. But imagine seeing them for the first time. A package of dry noodles. No complicated cooking. Just hot water. Wait a few minutes, and you have a meal. It was a completely different way to think about food. But Ando's story did not end there. That may be the most surprising part. For many people, creating one revolutionary product would be enough. Ando kept looking for the next problem. Years later, he traveled to the United States to explore how instant noodles might work overseas. There, he noticed something unexpected. People did not always have the kind of bowls commonly used for ramen in Japan. Instead, some broke the noodles into pieces, placed them in paper cups, added hot water, and ate directly from the cup. Ando saw more than an unusual way of eating. He saw an idea. What if the container could also be the bowl? No separate cookware, no special dish. Just add hot water and eat. That observation helped lead to another major product, Cup Noodles. It was launched in 1971. Ando was 61 years old. Think about that. At 48, he created Chicken Ramen. At 61, he launched Cup Noodles. He did not treat his first success as the finish line. He kept asking what could be improved. And even that was not the end. Decades later, Ando became involved in developing instant noodles that could be eaten in space. Eating noodles in zero gravity creates unusual problems. Soup cannot simply float around the spacecraft. The noodles have to be easy for astronauts to handle. The food also has to work under very different conditions from those on Earth. The result was Space Ram, a special instant ramen developed for spaceflight. In 2005, it traveled into space with a Japanese astronaut. Ando was 95 years old. 95. The man who began his famous breakthrough at 48 was still thinking about new ways to improve noodles almost half a century later. That may be the most important part of his story. It is easy to describe Momofuku Ando as the inventor of instant ramen. But his life tells us something larger. He was not a young genius who succeeded immediately. He faced setbacks. He spent months experimenting in a small shed. He failed repeatedly before finding the answer. And after finally succeeding, he kept going. 48 was not the end. 61 was not the end. Even 95 was not the end of curiosity. We often use age as a reason not to begin. Too late to learn something new. Too late to change careers. Too late to start a business. Too late to try again. But the next time you see a package of instant noodles, remember the person behind it, a 48-year-old man, working in a small shed behind his home, trying another batch after the last one failed. He could not know that his experiment would one day become part of everyday life around the world. He simply kept working on the problem in front of him. Sometimes the most important question is not why didn't I start earlier? It is what can I start now? Momofuku Ando was 48 when Chicken Ramen changed his life. He was 61 when Cup Noodles opened another chapter. And at 95, he was still looking toward the future. Maybe being late is not the same thing as being finished. Sometimes the next chapter begins much later than we expect. What we don't know can become hope. This is Hope Reactor.